Hi, Kathy here from Kathy's Cute Creations. Today we are going to do the Cozy Up Mystery Quilt. This one here is the really easy one. The first thing I want to do is let you know that it took about 3 hours to cut the fabric out if you have not cut it out yet. And I'm going to show you on the paper, the cutting guide here, that I changed it a little bit and I'll explain it, but I'm going to show you the pictures here first. So let me turn the camera around and I'm going to show you here what I'm talking about. All right, here is the first page for the cutting guide. This is if you bought the fabric, which is what I did to do the first one. And if you'll note here, it is showing you this is the way that you lay your fabric out. Now, if you're new to sewing and you don't really understand the layout of fabric and everything, you'll do it this way. But if you want to end up with more fabric, what you'll do instead is you'll do A, and then A, and bring this one over here, and that's going to give you all of this fabric left over for another project. So that was fabric 1. Now fabric 2 is fine. That layout's okay. The next one here, fabric 3, that's fine also. This one's also good. No waste there. That one, both of these two, you can see where they laid it all out, which is what I was explaining to you just a minute ago. That's good. When you come down here, I did the same thing with G. Now, if it's directional, you're paying attention to it to make sure that it's going the same way. But I laid my G over here, and I ended up with half of this fabric left over, which is the wood grain type of fabric. And then all the rest of them look good. There's no waste. Whoops, let me move over here a little bit. And just follow the guidelines. Take your time. And now on this one, which I really liked, but I didn't do it because I have all mine marked. But here at the bottom of your paper, they have the fabric that matches the letter, and then you can put it on your fabric when you cut it out to keep it straight. You can use a little clip if you want, or even a pin. Okay, here I have it just laid out all on the board, and see, that's how I put my marks. I just put a little pin in it. So it's all cut out here. It's all ready to go. This was the only directional that we had in here, so all of this needs to be going. Let me show you the piece here. It looks about like that, so you want to be able to read it. Otherwise, if you cut it the other direction, all your writing would be sideways. But if you've already done it and it's a boo-boo, don't worry about it. You learn from your mistakes. And then all of this is cut out. Okay, now I'm going to add a little bit here. So what I do and I'll show you here, I have these little paper protectors. So what I've done is I put the cutting guide all in here, and then each week I took one of these and put it in. Now when I totally finish this entire quilt, I will take all of them and put them together in this one piece here, and then I'll put it in a notebook, so if I want to do it or if I want to share the pattern with somebody, I've got it. I can make copies of it. Okay, that's just a little bit tidbit for you. So let's go over here to the sewing machine and we're going to get started. And the fabrics are D, E, and F. This is D, this is E, and this is F. That's all you're going to need is these three pieces to put your block together. This is called the snowman block. What it looks like right there, those 3 pieces. All right, so what you want to do is you want to take your 2 pieces, put them right sides together, and I'll pin each end, and then we're going to sew it. It says 1/4 of an inch. Are concerned about your 1/4 of an inch and what you can do, and I'm going to show you. Because I was watching some of my YouTubers that I watch, and I watch all different kinds of people. I watch the new ones that have just started out. They are new even to sewing themselves, but they're also helping people sew, which it's all right to watch them because, you know, you learn something from people that don't know how to sew, that just are starting. I'm going to bring the camera over here so that you can see this, and I'm going to show you what my 1/4 inch is and what you need to look at on your sewing machine. All right, hopefully I won't be moving this around and wiggling it and everything. All right, so most machines, let me get a pointing tool, will have this line coming straight out, which represents where your needle is on your sewing machine. Then there'll be a line over here, which will show 1/4 from your needle. Now, looking at mine, it's right lined up here with my feed dog. I'm going to put this little ruler right here. Actually, this is the one that came if you bought it along with the kit. And on each side of that yellow line, this is a 1/4 inch to the yellow and a 1/4 inch the other direction. So as you can tell, let me turn it this way, exactly from there to here is the 1/4 inch. So let me show you what it looks like when I put a piece of fabric up there. Just a second. I sew 1/4 inch. This is what I have to be looking at. All right, so the needle's going to be coming down here because there's my 1/4 inch over there. So as it goes up here, in order to keep it on, as you note, see when I move it a little, whoops, sorry about that. There's the 1/4, so I have to move it over there. But see where my fabric is up underneath the foot? I'm going to drop it down here and show you. It's not off the fabric. So see, that's kind of hard for some people to have in their mind, that 1/4 inch. That's too confusing for a lot of people, unless you've been sewing for quite a while and you're used to your machine. So let's say that you just got yourself a machine and that's too hard for you, and now you're like frustrated and you don't want to do it. Well, forget all that 1/4 foot stuff. Take the fabric and put it on the edge of your foot. I gotta quit looking at that and this too. All right, so let me drop it. And I'm gonna move it over a little bit more. Hold on 1 second, bear with me here as I try to adjust it. Okay, see how I've got it laying on there? I'm going to move it over a little bit more right there so that it catches on that foot. And see how you can see the fabric? You can do that. Of course, that's more than a 1/4 foot. But who cares? Well, if you have to do this and you still say, but I want it to be that size, well, then what you need to do is when you cut it out, make it a little bit bigger. When I say a little bit bigger, you can either measure it so it's 1/8 larger when you cut it out. As long as you stay consistent, that's all that matters. Now, in my case, I don't care if it comes out exactly what the pattern says. Okay? Then there's no stress involved, and I don't have to worry about it. And who knows what size it's supposed to be except you? Just keep this in mind when you're sewing. Don't stress yourself out about that 1/4 inch or that a little bit smaller than a 1/4 inch. That kind of stuff. I was watching some of my advanced sewers and they were having issues with that 1/4 foot, which is just ridiculous. So let's get started because this is going to be super duper simple and we'll have it done in no time at all. Sorry for all this long-winded talk. Okay, and then I'm going to add one more thing. And if you just feel like you have to have the 1/4 and you still can't figure it out, draw it just like that right on your fabric. Put your ruler down, measure a 1/4 inch from the edge, and use a pencil, friction pen, whatever you want, and just draw that 1/4 inch. Okay? Whatever makes you happy. All right, so then I have all of mine pinned sitting aside over here on my table, and I'm just going to go ahead and chain stitch them. And I'm using the 2.5 inch length. And of course I put a brand new number 12 needle in here. I'm going to see if I can back this up a little bit. Just, okay, because I didn't catch the end of it. Need to get myself a leader ender out here is what I need. Alright, let's get going here. Just take your time. And this one looks like the block's going to be a little uneven, but we'll trim it up when we're totally finished before we put it together. I hope you guys are going to have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I was just making deviled eggs before I came up here. It's the Thanksgiving lunch that we're having tomorrow at the office. Okay, you want to clip all of these, and the directions tell you that when you iron it, you're going to iron it so that your seam goes to the red block, which is the top block, before we add a rectangle D to this. All right, so let me show you how to put this together. Take this fabric right here, you're going to fold it in half, and you're going to put a little crease right there. Okay, open it up. Try to open it up here. Now, on this here, it shows you to put it this direction. We're going to put it this way so that this here, when the sewing machine foot comes over it, it goes over the top of it. So it doesn't, let's pretend it was this way. And when you come over, if for some reason you take your pin out because you're scared of running over it, and this flips over, it could end up like that or like that, and you want it to be upward. So to avoid that, just turn this upside down, and as long as you're doing it to all of them, you're consistent. Here's where my crease is, right here, and I'm taking this seam here where the fold is, and I'm putting it on it and pinning that right there. Then I'm going to the left, and I'm pinning up at the top, and to the right, I'm pinning it down here. And then you can tell that on this piece that the ends did not even meet. Note it didn't meet here nor here. And I'm not worried about it one bit because, like I said, when I get done, I will trim it up. It'll all end up fitting. So let me go ahead and we're going to just chain stitch these. Up here. And let me set up my sewing machine so my foot comes up when it's finished. Alright. Okay. It'll just automatically come up. If you've got one of those knee lifts on your machine, now would be a good time to put that on your machine. That's where all you have to do is just push it with your knee and your foot will automatically come up. So every time you come to a spot that has a pin in it, you could do that. This also has a knee lift, but I use the one that's automatically on this machine. And just chain stitch all of these just like we did before, and then when I'm done I'll come back, cut them all off, iron them, and then I will show you what I got. Alright, so they're all finished here. I've got them stacked up. I'm going to go iron them, and they want you to iron them to the dark. So it's going to go down and then it's going to go over to the right. And don't forget, you are ironing your fabric on the seam to relax it before you fold it over to make it go to the dark side, which is to the rectangle. And then I'm going to go ahead and trim them up, and then I'm going to tell you what size they're supposed to be, and then I'm going to tell you what size they are based on the way that I did them. All right, let's hope my camera does not fall off the little tripod there, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. So this is the end that needs to be trimmed. I've ironed it down. I go over here, and what I'm doing is I am squaring it up. So the main thing to look at is this intersection up here. So I put my ruler up to the intersection, and I've got the line going straight through it, and I come down here, and it's also going through on my fabric, and I'm putting it right on the edge. Nothing on the bottom needs to be cut, only the top up here. So then I'm just taking that off, just like that. I'm going to double check on this other side, but it doesn't look like anything needs to be removed. That side looks fine. So now I'm going to show you my squares here. So the first thing that I'm showing you, this right here, this is what I cut off of every one of my blocks. This is the combined. And what I've lost is 1/4 inch. So the blocks are supposed to be, I believe, 12.5 by 12.5. The paper says. Yes. So the paper says 12.5 by 12.5. And when I measured my block, so I have it lifted up so that you can read the numbers. So normally it would be down here on the line, okay? So if you go over here, let's try not to make everybody dizzy. I am 12 1/4 instead of a half. Here's the half. So that's all I've lost is a 1/4. No problem there. If when I get finished, I want my quilt bigger, I can actually put sashing on it, which is your border on the outside. All right, so I'm happy with it. I've got them all done, and I will pin them up here on the design wall. Now, I'm not going to spread them out because I've got other stuff on the design wall, but I'll pin them up here. And then we're going to go on to next week's, but I'm going to do it either tomorrow. Well, I probably won't do it tomorrow because I'll have this uploaded tomorrow, so I'll probably post the next one on Thursday or Friday because I'm not going to wait and do them out a week or do them like Wednesday and Saturday because I also want to go ahead and show you the Jolly box that I got. So I'm just going to try to make these like one every day or one every other day so that I can get this whole entire week done, and then I can do the other quilt, the Christmas quilt. Because this one here is it's called, let me bring it here, it's the Cozy Up Mystery Quilt. Okay, so this is the super duper easy one. It's not the Winter's Flurry, I think is what the other one was, which is what I downloaded first. And then they went and put this up, and I asked y'all if you wanted this one, which was easier than the other one. And a lot of people said yes, so that's why I'm doing both of these. But I'd like to get them both done so I can go ahead and quilt them and everything and show them to you. And because I've got all these things that I'm doing, but I'm not getting an opportunity to finish quilting them, which I want to do to show you what it looks like when I get done with it. All right? Okay, there's our 8 blocks all finished. I hope you liked the video, you followed it, and you learned something from it. A happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Take care. Bye-bye.